Hello and welcome to another Magic the Gathering unboxing. So today saw the release of Magic Origins, which I suppose marks both a end and a beginning. So this time of year you would normally get the core set, and to all intents and purposes I suppose this is the last core set before they move over to a 2 set per block release pattern with magic sets. This particular fat pack essentially is the same as all fat packs we've seen in recent years. It's got 9 boosters in it. It has a player's guide with encyclopedia. The box of this box itself sort of shrinks down to give you a card box. There's 80 card land pack in here, a spin down life counter, and 2 deck boxes, and will be interesting to see if they're of their normal rather poor quality and whether or not they actually fit decks which are sleeved or not. So let's open this up, because I know most people are probably watching this video to see what sort of pulls we can get on this. As with most sets recently, I haven't really looked through any of the spoilers, so it's going to be interesting what's in here. I've got a rough idea, because it is very difficult to escape spoiler season completely and to find out what's in here. I didn't go to the pre-release. I now just play the sort of electronic equivalent of pre-releases on Magic the Gathering Online. But I do still play cardboard Magic casually, so it's good to crack open a fat pack. Just if you're new to seeing fat pack unboxings, the box itself has the sort of fold out poster inside of it, which you can sort of undo. So we've got 2 spacer bits of cardboard which we get rid of. We've got our booster packs and our land pack. Here's our so-called deck boxes. Here's our card box, just to give you some idea of the colour and the art scheme they're using on this particular packaging. Obviously this is a scheme that's repeated all over the other things, like for instance the Deck Builders Toolkit, because they always release a Deck Builders Toolkit when they release the core set, and also the Clash Pack uses the same sort of colour scheme. I'm going to be cracking open one of each of those, a Toolkit and a Clash Pack, in the next week or so. So there we have the boxes. I'm just seeing if I can, let me just get a sleeve here so we can get a rough idea of the size. Nope. Once again, that will really only just fit. It might well fit though if you had those really snug fit sleeves on, the sort that you might use if you were double sleeving, then possibly that would fit in there. Okay, first thing we'll do is have a look at the encyclopedia. Okay. The other interesting thing about this is this core set actually has new abilities in it, which is unique for core sets. Technically the first core set to have new abilities in it would have of course been Alpha. So we've got Renown here. Renown ability originally came from an early design for the previous year's Kanza Tarkir block. So we'll have a look out for these particular abilities when we're going through the boosters. And spell mastery. So the theme, I suppose, of this set is all about the origins of planeswalkers and the transition from being, for want of a better word, normal person to igniting their spark and becoming a planeswalker. So in order to facilitate this, we have the flip cards, as we saw in the Innistrad block. And so, not surprisingly, the encyclopedia, the guide, is going to focus on planeswalkers and their backstory. And they've got basically a planeswalker that represents each of the 5 colours in Magic. And then, as always, the 10 coolest Magic Origins cards. So we've got double-faced planeswalkers. So they've cheated there, and they've had all 5 as the 10 cool, as number 1 of the 10 coolest. Demonic Pact, Honoured Hierarch, Pyromancer's Goggles, Tragic Arrogance, Shaman of the Pack, Hangerback Walker, Goblin Piledriver, Talent of the Telepath, and Consul's Lieutenant. And now we have the actual card encyclopedia. So this shows us all of the cards in the set, and I believe it also includes, let me just flick through this, they'll probably be back at the back again. There's a number of cards which you can't crack in boosters, and they are only available, I believe, either through the Deck Builders Toolkit, which is what they did last time, or through special, I think it's sort of new player promotion decks that get given away. And I don't know, maybe they're just wedged in amongst the main parts here. I think it was things like, was it Shivan Dragon? I can't remember. Anyway, when we come to unbox the toolkit later in the week, we'll actually see those sort of cards that are in the set but aren't available in boosters. Okay, let's get on and crack some packs. What we'll do, before we do that, we'll have a quick look at the land artwork, because it was interesting to see what they've used there. So you get 80 land in here, so plenty of land to build decks. Focusing on this a bit. So I'm just going to flip through until we start to repeat ourselves on the land artwork. It's really just so you can see the artwork. Often you recognise artwork from previous sets. So for instance, I recognise that artwork there and that one. That as well, and that. They often just pull the artwork for core sets from other artwork from throughout Magic's history, although that's not to say that some of this may not be new artwork. Okay, so it's starting to repeat itself. Right, so the next thing we'll do, have a look at the spin down. If you can see that, it's a sort of mottled dice. This one's like red with sort of dark green flecks on it, and then they're coming out a bit black on camera. There's the set symbol. Okay, let's see what we can crack. See what our mythic rate is going to be like on this particular fat pack. Oh, one other thing is they have this slim down rules card now as well, which is a standard appearance in the fat packs. Okay, so you can see the artwork there on the packs. Looks like they're using Planeswalker artwork there with sort of pre and post igniting of the spark. Okay, so we've got, starting off with our common from our first pack, a Crowan Sergeant, first strike and renown 1. So renown is this ability that I mentioned earlier. So with renown 1, when this creature deals combat damage to a player, if it isn't renowned, put a 1/1 counter on it and it becomes renowned. Yoked Ox, Caustic Caterpillar, Aspiring Aeronaut. There's also a Thopter theme in this set as well, I've noticed. That's the one thing I couldn't avoid escaping. I was listening to a podcast and they were mentioning about, it wasn't really a set spoiler, but they were mentioning about a Thopter theme. Lightning Javelin, Shambling Ghoul, Separatist Void Mage, Vine Snare, Heavy Infantry, Seismic Elemental, Consecrated by Blood, so we've moved on to our uncommons now. Foundry of the Consuls, this is a land at uncommon level. Another Thopter themed card. Caves of Kulios. So Caves of Kulios is a rare land. Tap, add 1 colours to your mana pool. Tap, add white or black to your mana pool. Caves of Kulios deals 1 damage to you. Act of Treason. I had a feeling we might get a foil here because the commons came along quite fast, so that's a common. And a land and a Thopter token. Okay. Also noticed they switched back to the old foil packs that because if you remember in the Modern Masters set they experimented with the paper packs. Touch of Moonglove, Act of Treason, Mighty Leap, Stratus Walk, Vastwood Gorger, Suppression Bonds, Veteran Sidearm, Titan Strength, Read the Bones is in the set, Calculated Dismissal. This has Spell Mastery on it, so let's have a look at this Spell Mastery ability. If there are 2 or more instant and or sorcery cards in your graveyard, scry 2. So obviously this ability looks like it's based on the presence of instants and sorcery cards in the graveyard. Psychic Rebuttal also has Spell Mastery on it. Let's have a look at this one. It says, if there are 2 or more instant and or sorcery cards in your graveyard, you may copy the spell countered this way. You may choose new targets for the copy, because obviously this particular spell is a counter spell. Psychic Rebuttal there. Conclave Naturalists, and we're moving on to our uncommons. Velarin Wardens, it's got Renown 2, which we saw earlier, so this one puts 2 +1/+1 counters on it if it's not already Renown, if you deal combat damage to a player. Day's Undoing, so this is a mythic, 2 and a blue. Sorcery, each player shuffles his or her land and graveyard into his or her library, then draws 7 cards. If it's your turn, end the turn. Exile all spells and abilities on the stack, including this card, Discard down to your maximum hand size. Damage wears off and this turn off. Sorry, damage wears off and this turn and until end of turn effects end. We have a mountain and a sort of, I suppose it's a reminder card about spell mastery. Okay. Challenger's Fury. Charging Griffin. Macabre Waltz. Timberpack Wolf. Stratus Walk. Shambling Ghoul. Calculated Dismissal. Rocks Maulers, and it's got Renown 2 on it. Heavy Infantry. Bonded Construct. Now moving on to our uncommons. Iris's Champion. It's got double strike on it. Clash of Wills. Fleshbag Marauder. There's a different art here for Fleshbag Marauder. Sword of the Animist. So 2 colourless legendary artifact equipment. Equipped creature gets +1/+1. Whenever a equipped creature attacks, you may search your library for a basic land card, put it onto the battlefield tap, then shuffle your library, and it's equipped for 2. Swamp card and an advert for Magic Jewels Origins. So another Challenger's Fury. Another Charging Griffin. Another Macabre Waltz. Yeva's Force Mage. Negate is in the set. Reclaim. Suppression Bonds. Veteran Sidearm, which we saw in an earlier pack. Fire Fiend Elemental has Haste and Renown 1 on it. Undead Servant. Cruel Revival. So we're moving on to our uncommons. Blood Cursed Knight. Blessed Spirits. Our rare is Guilt Lethal Winnower. 3 and 2 black for 4/3 creature elf warrior with menace. This creature can't be blocked except by 2 or more creatures. When Guilt Leaf Winnower enters the battlefield, you may destroy target non-elf creature whose power and toughness aren't equal. Island and a zombie token. Grasp of the Hieromancer. Touch of Moonglove. Nivix Barrier. Timberpack Wolf. Separatist Void Mage. Reclaim. Suppression Bonds. Veteran Sidearm. I think that's about the 3rd Veteran Sidearm we've got now. Fire Fiend Elemental. Undead Servant. Shadows of the Past, so we're moving on to our uncommons. Knightly Valor, Valoran Wardens, and we have a Shivan Reef. So tap, add 1 to your mana pool, tap, add blue or red to your mana pool, Shivan Reef deals 1 damage to you. Swamp, and another advert for Magic Origins. So that's our 2nd non-basic land. Non-basic rare land, should I say, because we did have another land, but not in the rare slot. Cobblebrute, Even Battle Priest, Maritime Guard, Timberpack Wolf, Heavy Infantry, Prickle Ball, Reeve Soul, Dread Waters, Rocks Maulers, Kithian's Tactics, Ravaging Blaze, so moving on to our uncommons. Consul's Lieutenant. Blessed Spirits, the second one of those. Gideon's Phalanx. So Gideon's Phalanx is 5 and 2 white. Instant, put 4/2/2 white knight creature tokens with vigilance onto the battlefield. It's also got spell mastery. If there are 2 or more instant and or sorcery cards in your graveyard, creatures you control gain indestructible until end of turn. Island and a knight token. Both tokens we've got there have been relevant to the actual pack. Night Snare, Dragon Fodder, Farika's Discipline. Farika's Disciple. That should be Screeching Scab, Llanowar Empath, Enlightened Aesthetic, Firefiend Elemental, Rabid Bloodsucker, Scrapskin Drake, Reclaim, Rune Servitor is in the set. So we're moving on to our uncommons. Somberwald Alpha. Also Rogue's Passage is in an uncommon, another land. So we're seeing a lot of land here. Tainted Remedy is our rare, so 2 and a black enchantment. If an opponent would gain life, that player loses that much life instead. And a Plains and a card about Gideon Jura. So 2 packs to go. We've already had 1 mythic and a foil. So let's see if we get a bit more luck in the last 2 packs. So we've got Catacomb Slug, Subterranean Scout, Aeromancers in the set, Touch of Moonglow, we've had a few of these now, Titanic Growth, Disperse, Ringwarden Owl, it's got prowess on it, Boggart's Brute, or Boggart Brute, also has Menace on it, Knight of the Pilgrim's Road, Renown 1 on that one. Nantuko Husk. Girafor Ethergrid. So moving on to our uncommons. Valor in Akros. Shaman of the Pack. And our rare is Priest of the Bloodrite. 3 and 2 black for a 2/2 creature human cleric. When Priest of the Bloodrite enters the battlefield, put a 5/5 black demon creature token flying onto the battlefield. At the beginning of your upkeep, you lose 2 life. Swamp and information about Uncharted Realms, which is oh yeah, we've got an area that obviously the wizard side that specialises in the storyline of the set. Okay, last pack. Celestial Flare, Dark Dabbling, Infectious Bloodlust, a Crowan Jailer, Vastwood Gorger, Disperse, Claustrophobia, Guardians of Meletis, Fiery Impulse, Knight of the Pilgrim's Road, Patron of the Valiant, so we're moving on to our uncommons, Hydra Lash, Fiery Conclusion, and so our rare is Scanclap Berserker, 1 and 2 red for creature human berserker with haste. It's a 2/2. It's got Renown 1 on it, so if you remember that when Renown, when this creature deals combat damage to a player, if it isn't renowned, put a +1/+1 counter on it and it becomes renowned. Whenever an opponent casts a non-creature spell, if Scab Clan Berserker is renowned, Scab Clan Berserker deals 2 damage to that player, and an island, and a Thopter token. So there we have it. It's interesting, that's about the proportion of rares and foils I would expect in a fat pack. So we basically got 1 mythic rare and 1 foil, and sort of that's statistically correct, really. So yeah, so it's good to see the new cards there. Interesting mix of artwork on that, on those basic lands. There we have it, the Magic Origins Fat Pack. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.